Hi everybody, it's Carolina here from the Oak Bluffs Public Library, and it is Saturday evening, which means it's time for Cooking with Carolina. And this program is sponsored by the Library Friends of Oak Bluffs. And I wanted to thank the Library Friends for providing all the ingredients for the show. And I also wanted to share that we have a whole new calendar of October programs now available, and you can see those on our Facebook page also. So check those out. We have some good ones. I'm really looking forward to the virtual movie club, and then we have a cooking club where this ingredient this month is pumpkin. So you make something with pumpkin, and then we zoom in and we all talk about it. It should be great. So today on the show, we are going to make fish and chips. And this recipe is courtesy of my good friend, Skip Long. Thank you very much. I was running out of ideas and he said, hey, make this. And I said, okay, that's a great idea. So the first thing we will do is to preheat our oven, because this fish and chips, not fried, no, I don't like fried things very much at all. It's oven baked. So we're going to preheat the oven to 450. So we're going hot. Okay, so that's up and running. And now the next thing we'll do is this particular recipe calls for salt and vinegar potato chips. So hence the fish and chips. This is the type of chip that's in this recipe. So this should be a lot of fun because I'm gonna just open up the bag just a little bit, just a smidgen. Just so some air gets in there so we don't pop it. And then I'm gonna bash it. Still have to be careful that they don't pop out the end. And it smells good. It is sea salt and vinegar chips, which I think that is key to the delicious flavor we're going to be experiencing. So you can also get in there and use your rolling pin. Make them extra squished. You could also use just a can if you don't have a rolling pin in the house. It works just as well. And you're using this for a coating, so you do want them to be fairly finely crushed. Ooh, that's a fun way to. Okay, you think that would be about good? Let's have a look. Even a tiny bit more, honestly. Squish them. Okay, I think that's probably good. So this is a whole, I mean, it's not a huge bag, it's a 5-ounce bag of chips, and we are going to put the whole thing on a plate. I'm going to do this in batches though. So I'm going to pour out about 2/3 of the bag there. Now we need to put some egg whites in a pie plate. and we'll use those for our dredge. So here, of course, you have to be a little careful when you're separating your egg whites from the yolk. So crack your egg, then let the white kind of just ooze on out, and then you gently, very, very gently, will transfer the yolk back and forth. And if it breaks, stop. That one broke. These are kind of fragile eggs because they're from my home chickens, which I have 3 chickens, 3 hens, who I love dearly. And they lay more eggs than I can manage to eat. So I'm always have an excess of eggs that I have to use in things like French toast, and you know, it's a horrible, horrible thing to have too many eggs. So that's 2. Sometimes I'm suspicious of them too. Ooh. Carefully, carefully. Okay, so there we are. I'm going to rinse the egg white off my hands, though. For a long time we did face yoga at the library, which was a lot of fun, and the woman who runs the face yoga class would always put the egg white on her face because it's very good for your skin. So she'd cook and she'd do a little egg white face mask. So now we are going to just whip this up a little bit, beat the egg white. And we'll move this over here. Now we want to take a baking sheet and we will line this in foil. So another great thing about this recipe, easy clean. Gotta love that. I do. And now we will spray this generously with a non-stick cooking spray, which I thought I had a regular non-stick cooking spray. Apparently I don't. I don't use it that often, so I have a coconut oil cooking spray, so that'll add a little interesting extra flavor to this recipe. Hopefully it'll go well. Salt and vinegar and coconut. Could be a new discovery. So we'll spray our cooking sheet. It says generously, so I'm going a little heavier than I normally would. And now we're going to put this over to the side. Now, we're going to set up, this is sort of our station where we're going to have our cod, our dip coating, and then our chip coating. So the egg will dip the cod in, and then that will help it stick, make the potato chips stick to the cod. So we have our beautiful piece of cod here from the Menemsha Fish Shop, which I went to Menemsha for the first time today. For like 6 months, I guess. I haven't been since the pandemic. And I was really surprised because it was really crowded. Still, I mean, like incredibly crowded. Every parking space was taken. It's amazing. Like usually by this time on Martha's Vineyard, it's cleared out and people are gone. And I fully expected to get there and just like run in and have it be a quick thing, but no, there were lines, they were out of things. It's a different thing going on this year on Martha's Vineyard. But it was always nice to see Stan at the fish shop. It's always one of my favorite places to go, especially in the winter, because he stays open in the winter. And you can go there on blustery days and get a cup of clam chowder. But it also made me realize it was the first time I'd been out that way, up island we call it, for a really long time. And I miss it. I miss things being normal. It's getting, it kind of goes in waves. It's like hard, then it's normal, and you are used to it, and now it's kind of hard again for me, making me sad. It's just been one of those weeks. Crazy, crazy week. A roller coaster. So we're cutting our cod here into strips. And now we will take a piece, get it all good and coated in the egg. So this is our assembly line. Then put it into your chips. And really, I mean, I like it with a lot of coating, so I'm really going to squish it on there and try to get as much as possible to stick. Even with the egg, it's a little tough to stick on there. Squish it down in there. Yeah. Then put it on your baking sheet. So boy, even with all that beating, I honestly could have crushed these potato chips up a little more just to be a finer dust for coating the cod. And you can pick up the chips and kind of put them on top too, just to get them mashed in there. Pretty good. Try to break them up just a little more. Taking care to be gentle with my beautiful Moroccan plate here. Okay. The oven is ready for us. And of course try to get it on the edges also. You want a fully coated fish and chip piece. This does use up the chips. I was thinking that I would have way too many, but I'm only about halfway through, and this one's about good. And it's tough. You don't want to overhandle it because that also... Well, thank you, Erica. If you overhandle it, that makes the chips come off, and also they can stick to your hands like that. So I'm going to take a quick rinse. And now, since I have the rest, I'm glad I didn't put them all on the plate. I'm going to take the rest of the chips and crush them way more, because now we know crushed is way better. So you get to take your rolling pin again, smash them. Ooh, I should also mention that next, when is it? Next, I have to look at my little schedule here. Thursday. Next Thursday is Graphic Novel Book Club, and you can read the book on Hoopla, which Hoopla is like an e-book and movie and music, actually. They have a ton of stuff, and often, depending on where you are, your local library probably has a subscription. And so you can access everything on there for free. So it's pretty amazing. So the graphic novel that we're reading is called Book Love, and you can read it for free on Hoopla using your library card, depending on whether your library has the Hoopla subscription or not. But a lot of them do. You would be surprised. Okay, if these suckers aren't pulverized by now, looks pretty. And this is kind of done. I think we'll start a new plate for our second round. Oh yeah, this looks a little better. I see we'll be able to try both ways, so bigger chunks and fine chunks. Okay, back to our assembly line. And if you're watching, where are you watching from? We're here on Martha's Vineyard, but it's always interesting to know where you are and how you found us. Oh yeah, so this coats a lot better with the smaller crumbs. All right, yeah. I'm so excited. I love the idea of the salt and vinegar chips for this. So you're not using just regular potato chips. I think the salt and vinegar are what's gonna really take this to another level of delicious. Whew, we are just gonna have enough chips. Should have gotten 2 bags. you also don't want to let too much of that dredge get onto the rest of the crumbs that you're using, because that makes them get all goopy together, and then it's harder to get them to coat like you want them to. Oh, you're taking it to the limit. Oh, and it just fits on the baking sheet. So this was a pound of cod. I'm gonna go steal these. Just to finish it off, I'll use the leftovers from the other batch, just for this last little piece. Squeeze them on it too. Over just a smidge. Last piece on. Okay. Do a little tidying there. Now we have it all set out here on our cooking sheet. And do a little washing up. And now we will actually spray this again, now that the fish is on there, with your nonstick cooking spray again. And the oven's ready to put them in, so we're going to put it in at 450. And we'll set our timer for 12 minutes. 12 minutes. Do a little cleanup here. Okay, now we're ready for our next adventure in cooking. And we are going to take a microwave safe bowl, grab a fresh cutting board, and we're going to take a pack of peas, dump those in. We have a lemon. Let me grab another knife. So again, just like last week, if you watched last week, and I talked about how you don't want to cut, I'm taking the sticker off. You don't want to cut your lemon this away, because you also want to be able to use some of the wedges from this lemon. So you want to cut it lengthwise, even though you're using half for the juice. So we're going to take this and use about a tablespoon or so of lemon. Now, I guess I could get fancy. I'll get fancy, why not? Okay, now it's it's kind of funny because the lemon, if it's cut the other way, it really is better for this, but that's okay. It'll still work. So we'll just take that and juice it on in there. That is probably at least a tablespoon. Ooh, squirted in my sleeve. Now we want some butter, which I have here, and about 2 tablespoons. And then a little salt and pepper. About a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and pepper to taste. So now we'll take this and put a little cover on it, and we'll put this in the microwave for about 5 minutes. Okay, so now we have that going, and we can think about plating. Plating while we're waiting. I know I'm awful. So we can cut our lemon that we still have the other half of, and use that just to cut some lemon wedges for the plate. And do another little tidying. You always have to tidy while you go along. Doesn't make for exciting watching, but it has to happen. Take yourself a little well-earned break. I'm also very excited about next week. It should be next Thursday. It's been quite a while since we've done our new items this week broadcast, but this week it's back. We're going to talk about all the new things in the library. I also have some tartar sauce for our dipping sauce. I got this from the Menemsha Fish Market too. And I thought this was a really good deal. It was actually $2.99 for this big old thing of tartar sauce. And I love tartar sauce. And this is homemade, so it's fantastic. We have about 5 minutes left on the fish and about 2 minutes left on our cooking pea mixture. So we could take a little peek at our fish. It seems to be doing well. And we can just continue the cleanup. Normally right now I'd probably be doing some dishes. Get that out of the way. So I'm going to check and see how our peas are doing. They're hot. Depending on your microwave power, 5 minutes might be too many minutes. This was about 3, and I think it's, obviously, it's very, very hot. Steamy, steamy. So now what we're going to do is take our beloved food processor, ever so useful, You want to have a blade in there, and we'll find a little color coordinating rubber spatula. If you don't have color coordinating, you can still use it, but it might not taste as good. Just saying. So we're gonna put all that mixture into our food processor and squeegee out the bowl a little. But you know, you can save this bowl unless you're very fastidious and require a new bowl. If you're having guests or something, you could put it in a new bowl. Me, it's just for my family, so I can reuse this bowl. And we'll take this and we will pulse it until smooth. So I've never tried anything like this, and I'm pretty excited to try it. Ooh, it's pretty. I like the color. Now it's still kind of hot, so be careful. So it doesn't take long, very quick to make. But see that pretty color? Isn't that nice? I like bright colors. They make me happy. Whatever it takes these days, huh? Alright, so put your beautiful pea mixture into your serving bowl. That's pretty good. You can add a nice serving utensil to that. Boom, ready to go. Do your little tidying. And now we're just waiting for that fish to come out of the oven. So you can get yourself ready with your hot pads. Hot pads. And anything else that you might want to plate up for on the side. For example, the tartar sauce. I recommend using fine silver for serving. Why not? And now we just have about 30 seconds left on our fish. So we're going to hear that ring in just one moment. Take another moment for yourself. Maybe another one. What's in the cup? It's just water. All right, that's the sound we want to hear. And let's have a look. Ooh, golden brown. Alrighty. So you want to make sure that your cod is cooked all the way through. And you can tell that by just taking a little fork or something and making sure that it flakes easily. Then turn your oven off. Find yourself a spatula, and we can plate these. So I think you'd definitely be sad if you did not use the cooking spray, because I'm sure this would stick. And you wouldn't get all the wonderful little crispies with it. So we'll just do one plate up. Mine. Take some pea mixture. And if you like tartar sauce, put some tartar sauce on. If you don't, you can use whatever dipping sauce you desire, or no dipping sauce if that's what you prefer. And let's see, I'm sure it's very hot still, so I'm going to be careful. I'll get a fork. We'll try the peas while this little piece cools. So these are our peas with lemon juice and butter and salt and pepper. Sure. Not bad. Not mind-blowing, but not bad. It's kind of like an easier way to transport peas to your mouth. You don't have to worry about them rolling off, but it tastes about the same. Now, let's give our little fish and chips a try. I love my tartar sauce. Ooh, it is very flaky, coming apart. Mmm. Mmm. I feel like I do that every show. It is pretty good though. Hey, I can't help it. Every show is good. You might definitely have a fork. You can try using your hand on me there. I like it. I think salt and vinegar chips on it is revolutionary. So, thank you for joining me. Oh, I forgot to squirt my lemon on there. That's okay. There's more. Thank you very much for joining me. Will we be back next week? We will. We'll be back next week on Saturday with another recipe, maybe something with pumpkin. So, have a great evening and see you next week. Thanks. Bye.